Hello! Welcome to the first episode of my first ever podcast, Road to FCAS. I am Dylania, and I just started my first actuarial job back in December. And as every single actuarial student would, I am currently on my way of completing my exams. And therefore, the title of this podcast. Well, since I am still in the beginner stage of my exam taking journey, and I feel like this is gonna last a few years, I thought right now would be a good time to start some documentation of where I started, and we will see where I go to. For people who may not be as familiar with the term actuarial or actuarial exams, actuarial jobs, stuff like that, here is a little context. So basically, simply speaking, actuaries are people who do math for insurance companies, and therefore most of them work in insurance settings. Insurance has a lot of risk because when you sell a product, you never know how much you are going to pay out for a loss. You may never pay out for a policy, like that person who bought the policy with you may never send in a claim saying, "Oh, I need you to give me money." But the person could also have a huge loss and they send it in and you have to send them a lot of money. So there's a lot of uncertainty in insurance and therefore risk. And that's why most actuaries would say the actual career is like basically you're managing risk. So yeah, I thought I would start this podcast to just record and document my whole journey because I feel like this is definitely going to take a few years. And I feel like what I would be talking about in this podcast are mainly going to be my exam progress and just a little bit about me, like how I feel, stuff like that. It's more like a little journal, like a verbal journal for me. And I would just hope you enjoy listening as well. I think at least for me, there are a lot of emotions that come with taking exams because, well, to to sign up for an exam, it is a bunch of money already, and you need to buy your study materials as well. Although most of the time, your company will cover that if you work as an actual analyst. But it's still a lot of dedication, and trust me, no one will want to take an exam and want to fail it. Everyone wants a success, and me as well. So I feel like personally, there's always a lot of emotion that just spawns when it comes to, sitting for an exam and trying to pass it. And I am not sure how often I am going to be uploading those episodes, but I feel like it's gotta be maybe at least one episode per month. I've gotta have something to talk about in a month, right? We will see. And next, I wanted to speak a little bit about my goals. Well, as you may have guessed, the title says Road to FCAS. And FCAS stands for Fellowship in Casualty Actuarial Society. So if you're a fellow, that means you passed a lot of exams. And that also means you have potential to, go to like higher positions. Like you could be a leader, you could be a chief actuary, stuff like that, like in the company. Like this credential gets you to more places if you have such ambitions. But to me, it's more about just having this achievement. I just want to have it. And I feel like every single actuarial student would aim for that. At least the ones that I spend time around. We all have the same goals to obtain the fellowship status. But before I get to fellowship, I need to get my associateship first. So for now, my next credential would be FCAS, Associate of Casualty Actuarial Society. And right now, I am on a 22 hours per week studying schedule. I kind of calculated it back when I started working in December. I calculated around how many hours I should study per week to obtain the 400-hour mark for the current exam I'm sitting for, exam MAS1, Modern Actuarial Statistics. It is recommended that you study 400 hours for this exam, and so that was my initial goal. But right now, I actually find myself doing more than 22 hours per week, just because I feel anxious about, what if that 400 hours just isn't enough? Like, what if I need more time to refine myself? What if I'm just slower at learning, Like, maybe some people only need 200 hours, but some people need 500 hours. And what if I was one of those people who need 500 hours, right? You always want to be safe. So recently, I find myself doing a lot more studying hours than 22 hours. And although, luckily, right now I'm just starting my job, so I am not overly busy. So a bunch of my work time I just used to study. And therefore, it is easier to go way over those 22-hour limits per week. But I feel like as I get busier, it's definitely going to be harder to, complete the 22 hours per week. In fact, in the past 3-4 weeks, I was able to finish my 22 hours by Friday. I count a week from Monday to Sunday. So technically, I only need to get to 22 hours by Sunday, but in the past few weeks, I've been getting to 22 hours on Fridays. And that actually makes me really happy, because that means, if I keep studying over the weekends, I can get even more study hours in, and, study hours, more is better. What if you run, on the day of your exam, you just run into this really, really, really hard exam? What if that happens, right? Less study hours aren't going to save you, isn't it? But yeah, for now, I would call it my bottom line is to do 22 hours per week. So, and I am currently at part 2 out of 3 of exam MAS1, Mass 1. So the online studying platform I use, Coaching Actuaries, classify this exam into 3 parts. And I actually just got through halfway the second part. It's pretty difficult. It definitely burned a few wires in my brain, I would have to say. But yeah, well, before FCAS, it is ACAS. And before ACAS, it is Mass 1. And since we're talking about goals, right? I also want to speak just a little bit about some challenges. Challenges? Oh my god, like I cannot speak. I also wanted to speak on some challenges that I am facing. Because, for most people, when they have goals to achieve, there's definitely gonna be challenges coming up. There's gonna be obstacles. There's gonna be problems that they have never thought of that just pop up. It's like pop quizzes, right? So I feel like some of the biggest challenges I face actually come from me and myself and I. When it comes to taking exams, I always give myself a lot of pressure because I don't want to fail. I want to be so prepared that I walk in there, I take the exam, walk out and thinking that there is actually no way that I failed the exam. This is how prepared I want to be. I mean, this is really ideal. I mean, most of the time, I feel like people would walk in, take it, and feel maybe 60-70% sure about whether they pass or not, and then they would pass with like 6 or 7. Like, because 6 is the passing line, and 7 is a safe score. So if you pass with a 6, that's like, yes, you passed, but that was close, right? Like 7 is a much safer score. So 8, 9, and 10 will be on the higher side. Yeah, I give myself a lot of pressure when it comes to taking exams because I'd be terrified about failing. I mean, who isn't though? Just about how you deal with it. And also, I heard a lot of scary things people say about this exam. I have heard like people say, oh, this exam is like one of the most hardcore FCAS exams ever, and how like they jokingly said, oh, like this exam is there to scare people away. And the thing is, I heard these words from some of the smartest people like ever. And me personally, I am not like the smartest person ever. So to me, like I would think about it like this. If people who are so smart already struggle, how about me? Like I'm definitely gonna struggle, if not harder. So I came in this exam like already kind of terrified. So, well, maybe that's not really a good thing, but I am a little terrified about not passing. But, well, that doesn't mean I'm not going to try my best. I'm gonna go all out at it, and I'm gonna pray for a 6. If I get a 6, hallelujah. If I don't get a 6, I get something below a 6, it's okay. I go again in July. So, yeah. And some other pressure I feel like would relate to work. Because I just started my first job, and you always want to do good. And me personally, I am just really grateful that I got this job. Like, just let alone like what kind of job, like getting a job in this market, I was super grateful. And I really want, well, I want to say my family, my company, but more like my manager and the 2 coworkers who interviewed me. who they all decided, oh, like, we want this person. I want to show them that they have made a right choice. I want them to feel like, oh, wait, it's so cool. We're so glad that we hired this person. Like, they're actually good. Like, well, I guess they wouldn't hire me if I wasn't good, if I wasn't any good. But I want them to be like surprised, you know? Just, it's like this, maybe this mindset of, oh, like, I want to get a good grade so my parents will be happy, stuff like that. Like, although I never really intentionally try to get a good grade to please my parents because I'm not good at taking exams. But it's like, I really appreciate them for giving me the chance, and I really like those people. So that makes me just want to do good and like, I want them to think good things about me, even better things about me. So I kind of give myself pressure on that too. Like, I feel like, oh, you always need to be learning. Like, you can't just do what is given to you. You need to always be so curious. Like, curiosity is how a lot of people learn things, and I am one of those a lot of people. So I always remind myself to be curious, always asking the why and try to understand the why, and that just brings more learning into your career, and more learning is always great. Even like either you're working or not, like, learning is always great, I feel like. So I just tend to put a lot on my plate, and I try to push myself to try to achieve it. And sometimes I push too hard, sometimes I push just enough. But this exam is really important, so I definitely do not want to push too hard to like crash myself. So yeah. Just about keeping the balance, I feel like. Keeping the balance is one of the challenges I'll be facing. But, you know, life is not only challenges. You also gotta have something to look forward to, right? Like, say, oh, I have dinner plans next Friday. Woohoo! That is something I look forward to. I go to see a friend on Saturday. That is something I look forward to. Woohoo! Right? You just gotta have some stuff to look forward to. And since this is the first episode, and I want to set a more so bright tone to my whole journey, because, well, first, you cannot always be happy. But being happy sometimes really helps when you are giving yourself a lot of pressure. Either you want to or not. So I wanted to chat about some stuff I really, really look forward to. So first thing is that I made some new friends, and I love those people. I'm just not the most familiar with this area that I'm living in, and I wouldn't know, oh, like, this place is good, this place is what, and I don't have a lot of friends around. But a friend of a friend introduced a bunch of his college buddies to me, and these people are so fun to hang out with. I really enjoy their presence. And this friend group would go to a certain restaurant and get burgers on Monday nights. So I always make sure to attend and just get my weekly yapping session in. You know, you just gotta yap it all out sometimes. I feel like a lot of times, when I was hanging out with them, I spoke with negative amount of brain cells. But that's okay. Seems like they laughed. And none of them has punched me yet, so I think I'm doing all right. But anyways, one of the most like exciting thing that I've been looking forward to is every Monday, burgers after work. And another thing I look forward to is to check out more coffee shops around the area. Again, like I'm not very familiar with like what's around me, so going out and exploring new places is always good. And also, I am a huge caffeine addict. I drink a lot of coffee, and sometimes coffee just doesn't really work on me anymore, but I still like drinking coffee. So I do enjoy checking out new coffee stores, and if they have like their specialty coffee, like, oh, we created this ourselves, I would definitely like to try that. And I would say that I'm not a really picky person. Like, I don't think I'm a picky eater. I don't think I'm a picky drinker. Like, as long as it's not going to poison me, I'm gonna try it. And most of the time, I do like it, which is great. So I want to check out more coffee stores around the area. And when I go to coffee stores, I actually study. I find myself studying better when I am not by myself. So when there is like someone there with me, or when I'm sitting around a lot of people also doing work, I find myself like focusing a lot better than if I was alone. So it's like when I was in college, I really liked the quiet room of our library. That being, the quiet room is a room where no one speaks and everyone's just there locked in doing their own things. And when you are in an environment like that, like everyone's there to get things done, to lock in, to like focus, it makes you want to focus as well. Like, I feel horrible for even looking at my phone at all when I'm sitting in there. So it really helps me focus. Because like you think about all those people around you, like I don't know what they are, maybe they're engineers, maybe they're writing essays, maybe they're doing other stuff. They're all locked in, whatever they're doing. So this is a huge like thing that helps me focus. And I mean, although not every single person is like locked in at coffee stores, it's still really helpful to like just be around a bunch of people. Well, they can't be too loud, but they can be too loud. But yeah, coffee stores. And speaking of studying, study spots as well. I feel like this kind of overlaps with coffee stores, but studying spots doesn't always have to be coffee stores. Like, well, there's a few, universities, colleges around my area, and when there is an institution, there's usually libraries. And me personally, as I have stated, am a huge fan of libraries. So I would want to go try out these places as well. I actually had tried out one already. It's a pretty cool place. I feel like I would definitely go back there for studying. And well, since I started talking about things I look forward to with new friends, I am also really looking forward to just get closer to those new friends. Like, they're really cool people. Like, I feel short of words when it comes to describing how much I enjoy having those people around. just, when you really vibe with someone, some people, you want to get close to them. You'd be like, oh my god, like, I want to hang out with you more, right? I want to get closer. Like, let's hang out, stuff like that. So I really look forward to getting closer to my new friends. And yeah, I mean, as introverted as I am, I enjoy friends. Like, I may not speak more than 3 words at work, but when I see friends and people I can just yap to, I speak unlimited words. I could be a huge yapper when it comes to the right kind of friends. So, and also, I look forward to get closer to my coworkers. One of my coworkers, he's really goofy, and he's one of the more not so traditional person in the workspace, in the workplace. So I always really enjoy working with him because he's always like smiley and and he's funny. Last time when we met for something at work, I made a comment and he thought it was really smart. Like he was like, oh, like I actually think the same. He said, what should I call you? A far smeller? Oh wait, a smart fella. And I died laughing. When I say died, I mean I died laughing. It was so funny. I mean, I try to be professional at work, but that time I laughed really, 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 really loud. But yeah, far smeller, smart fella. Oh man. But yeah, I do look forward to get closer to my coworkers as well because, I like my coworkers and, well, when you think you vibe with someone, you want to be closer. That's it. And another thing I'll be looking forward to is to be more active. I started working out again, so that's exciting. So I did a summer internship last summer, and there was a gym on site. So every day, almost every single day after work, I would go work out. And I really enjoyed seeing the progress. Like, you're like, oh wait, like, I gained muscles. Oh wait, like, running feels easier compared to last week. I really enjoy seeing fitness progress on myself. So I did have a lot of fun with the gym. But right now, unfortunately, there's not a gym on site. But, you always have other ways. I started taking stairs up to my floor. It would be 7th floor every single day at work. And I take the stairs down as well. Just the little maybe 2-minute stair climb. Just get you active. And also, I started swimming with my high school swim club again. So, for people old like me, there is a thing called master swimming. So basically, a bunch of adults can be offered swim practices as well. And I've been going to those. It makes me really happy to be swimming again. I used to swim in high school and in college as well, and I would have to say that I really miss it. And right now, when you're an adult, you no longer have anyone you have to impress. I mean, think about it. When you're in high school, you kind of want to impress your parents, maybe your coach, And in college, you want to impress your coach just so, you can be taken to conference, stuff like that. Like, you want to be standing out, like, on the team. But right now, when I'm just swimming for fun, I have genuinely no one to impress, and that's amazing. Like when you're swimming purely just for yourself, it is so much easier. Like I don't have to be thinking, oh my god, I need to push more because if I don't do that, my coach would be disappointed. If I don't do that, my parents would be disappointed. If I don't do that, I will be bad. Like none of those are in force anymore. I just swim because I like it. And I think this is one of the most beautiful things about, just having an activity that you don't do to impress people. You just do it because you like it and you want to be active. So I'm really excited to see how this goes, and definitely is very different to no longer need to be, impressing someone. So that's great. I mean, I guess I still liked swimming when I, had people to impress. It's just sometimes it gives yourself pressure, But yeah. And of course, another thing I'll be looking forward to is to make more of my podcast episodes. I'm excited to see what could happen in the future, even just within the next week, next 2 weeks. I don't know what's gonna happen, and I look forward to having new things to talk about on this podcast, to be sharing with people, well, if anyone listens, and just to document myself. It's kind of like when parents take pictures of their babies. Like every single day the baby looks the same, but if you do it for like a few months, you look at the most recent picture and the first ever picture, you're gonna be like, oh my god, this baby grew so much. Like, I want to see the changes that happened to me that I may not have realized, But yeah, a lot of things to look forward to. And thinking about those things really keeps me going because, it's like, this is a weird example to be using, but it's like when you're training dogs, when they do good, you give them treats. And after you do it for a while, sometimes the dog, like say you teach the dog tricks, sometimes the dog might look forward to you giving out the commands for them to do tricks because they look forward to the snack that is given afterwards. You just gotta have those great things that you feel like could happen, And also, the coworker I was talking about, the one that's a little goofy, he's an FCAS, and I think that's really, really cool. At the place I was interning at, there were a lot of really young credentialed actuaries, and I think that's probably one of the coolest things ever. One of my coworkers at my internship became an FCAS at the age of 25. That's only 2 years older than I am, and I think that's so cool that he did that. So, I mean, not that I'm gonna try to be him, but it's something to think about, and it makes me want to keep going. Be like, hey, you can do this too. You can do this too, and I know how good it feels after you pass an exam, so, I know good things is gonna be there. And even if I don't pass an exam, it's okay, I try again. not every single person, pass exams on their first tries. I have failed one exam before. So I just, like, whenever I think of these really smart coworkers of mine, I feel pretty motivated to be like, man, like, that's so cool that they did it. And it's so cool that I had the same goals as them. So I think that's one of the beautiful things about having a goal that's going to take a few years. It's like you know where you want to get to, and that place that you want to get to is, you never get tired of just fantasizing how it would be when you get there. I'm gonna be very honest, I don't know how I would react when I finally get my FCAS. Maybe I'll be in my 30s, maybe I'll be closer to 30s, I don't know, but I want to believe in myself, and I want to prove to myself that I'm not wrong by believing in myself. But yeah, that's a lot of yapping. And oh yeah, at the end of those podcasts, I want to sing a song because, well, I really like singing, and I just thought, why not? I mean, every single small chance I get, I want to sing, so why not? And if people like the singing part, even better, right? So yeah, I want to sing a song. And the song I am singing today is a Japanese song called Tabako. And, well, as you may be able to tell, translates to tobacco. I think it was like a trending song a few years ago. I don't really remember like exactly what year it was trending. I just remember like for a period of time, almost every single person ever was uploading covers of this song, stuff like that. So like it's like really popular now. And right now, although I think it's not trending anymore, I still really like the song. So we're gonna sing it. Alrighty. Okay, let's do it. It's a pretty sad song, actually. But it's really good. とちゃんと僕を見てるよもっとちゃんとってその言葉が君には重かったのもっとちゃんと僕を見てるよもっとちゃんとって言わなければ君はここにいたかな僕のことは多分君がよく知ってる眠たい時に太陽が上がるキスは短めが好きってこともその時思った僕は君のことどれくらい分かってたんだろう一番最初に浮かんできたのは君の好きなタバコの名前もっとちゃんと君を見てればもっとちゃんとって今さら気づいても遅いようなもっとちゃんと君を見てればもっとちゃんとって今気づいたで何の意味があった君が置いていたタバコ僕の大嫌いなものなのにどうして火をつけてしまった君の匂いがしたのさ君の匂い一口吸ってしまったでもやっぱりむせたもっとちゃんと僕を見てるよもっとちゃんとって言わなければ君はまだここにいたからもっとちゃんと君を見てればもっとちゃんとって少し理解君の匂いにだけAll right, well, that closes out the first episode of my first ever podcast. If you listened all the way to here, I really appreciate that for sharing your time with me. And well, hopefully I will see you next time.